Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Marshall here, and I'm bringing you another 1v1 cast from, this time, ranked Season 8. This is Miram, the infamous planet where players can spawn anywhere. And look at this thing. Just look at it. Not huge, 550 radius, a few bodies of water where you can get some naval. And a lot of triples where you would want to spawn, and lots of singles where you can expand to. And of course, the alternate spawns act as potential expansion points. But here we have Dreadnought against CyberPunkPanda. Both players, I believe, are plat ranked, typically. Of course, with it being a brand new season, they probably haven't quite got there yet, but certainly we can expect to see that sort of a level of play. Now, interestingly, they have spawned adjacent to each other, so this is going to be quite a frantic game for these two. Of course, neither of them know, because it is spawn anywhere, neither of these guys know that they have started right next to each other. They are absolutely clueless. So they're still going with their standard openings. Look at that. Bot first, air second, couple of bot fabs, 3 bot fabs, a scout, a pelican, ready to pick up a spark out of that, probably coming next. There's the spark there, a couple of fabs in a train, assisting out the spark to get it out faster with the pelican, ready for the drop. 4 fabs out of here for Dreadnought in terms of bots, and an air fab as well. Now that's quite a good move, because of course on this planet, where no one knows where anyone else has spawned, aha, there we go. Panda in red has seen where Dreadnought has spawned nice and early on. Dreadnought of course sees that he's been scouted and comes down the spark there, gets one of them. Doesn't quite get the other fab. Dreadnought won't be too happy about that. Ready for his commander to kill that off. There it goes as it comes round. Of course, Dreadnought still doesn't know where Cyberpunk is. It was very fortunate that Cyber... There we go, there's the scouts. And now we'll start to see things adapt. Double vehicles. Cyber still going in with a third bot and a 4th air. I'm not entirely convinced that's going to be the best build to go when you're in adjacent plots to people, especially when you're going hard vehicles over here. But what I was saying before the scouts and the snipes is that Dreadnought with that air fab can go around, and because it is a spawn anywhere, and now that they know where they have spawned, you can try and get some sneaky expansions here, and they'll really start to pay for themselves if they're not scouted. And Panda hasn't seen it. He's got the interceptor over there, but as I say, hasn't seen it. So that can keep expanding and really start to pay for Dreadnought going into the latter part of this game. Also expanding with bot fabs, going idle there a little bit. Of course, Dreadnought has been out of the game for a little bit, so needs to get back into the swing of things there, I believe. And Panda also continuing to go off with all of these fabs. Multiple directions, also a couple of idle ones over there. Not great, but you can go to this set of 3 next. And additional fabs coming out there again. Idle, no additional factories yet for that commander, and we're going to start to see Infernos for Dreadnought. That's quite a strong play there because of how close these guys are together. The Infernos are going to force Panda to deal with this, especially on a bot-heavy build. He's going to have to put a lot of damage into these Infernos because it takes Docs quite a while to kill Infernos. Look at that. It's only chipping away at the health. So this is going to force Panda into commander engagements, or vehicle transitions, or air superiority. Personally wouldn't go for Grenadiers, but if you can kite them well enough, they should be okay. But of course, as we start getting the ants coming out to supplement the Infernos, Panda is going to be in a little bit of trouble here. And there we go, there's the vehicle factory kind of transition. But they're being on the front lines, I'm not so sure about that. Probably want to put it in the middle here, I would have said. So that at least gives it that little bit of an air gap from being chipped away from any of these units that think that a front lawn is a nice place to have a picnic. There you go, you can see it chipping away at that factory already. Don't know about that. Let's have a look around the expansion super duper quick. We'll keep the action engagements here. And actually what we'll do, now that we're sort of overlapping each other in terms of these bases, is I'm going to set that to show the opposite side of the planet. So as I'm scrolling around, you can see the other expansions there, if anything is happening to them. Meanwhile, though, the engagement, Dreadnought continuing to pick off for Cyberpunk. Not having some great trades is Panda. What is this? Just wandered around the other side of Dreadnought's pond, sandwiching him a little bit here with this expansion. This is going to be sneaky, and this is what Panda needs to do. And Dreadnought as well. He's sort of expanded there, and his airfab has gone idle. He should have been continuing to expand there, but of course with Panda scouting and patrolling that side of the planet, he'll find it eventually. Meanwhile, though, what is this? Disgusting from Dreadnought, but it works. It's on the other side of this iceberg. It's in a nice defensible location. Of course, each of these adjacent plots of triple mechs have been designed as a 1v1 scenario, as a potential 1v1 scenario, so that is very good use of this iceberg here. Panda being forced to reassess where his commander is theoretically safe. Going into T2 is a bit of a bold move. I would have gone heavier on T1 right here. I very much doubt you're ever going to get that T2 finished with the amount of pressure that Dreadnought is putting on, especially bringing in his commander onto the front lines now. And with the power line from Panda threatened, there's no way he's going to get that T2 up. Look at his economy there. It's not looking too healthy for him. He does have air superiority, which is in his favour, and he does have a couple of proxy factories that he can retreat to if need be. Look in the lower picture-in-picture, though, you can see that Dreadnought's expanding airfab still sitting idle over there. Still not putting in the work. But of course he's going to be focusing now on this push. He doesn't want his commander to lose too much health to any of these turrets now as he pushes in. Got a couple of grenadiers in the base chipping away at the armour as well. That Tokamak Tech. And here we go, the commander engagements. Will we have some walls being set up here? I suspect we should. But some good uber cannons from Dreadnought there really meant that any defending forces from Cyberpunk just evaporated. Cyberpunk now having to retreat from all of these infernos that he just can't deal with. The Fabbers coming in to assist that commander and heal him up a little bit, just to give him that little bit of an edge. Interesting move there from Panda, really. I guess it shows the desperation that he feels at this particular moment. Gives his commander that little bit of extra boost, hiding behind this T2 factory. I don't know if that's intentional. But here with Dreadnought pushing in with increasing unit count now. Zoom out a little bit more on that other picture-in-picture. Panda is kind of left without a base here. He does have his expansions, which he is going to have to retreat to at this stage. He's got nothing else to do here. He's got to move away, otherwise his commander is in jeopardy. Can't go forward there. Retreat with the occasional uber cannon and we'll kite that nicely, but he's got to try and keep going. His T2 factory there is still going up. He was continuing to use those fabs to assist out that T2 factory. Unwise. Commander now down to 25%, a quarter of his overall HP now. Excuse me. And the T2 factory survives. He's going to go back and try and finish it off. Look at this. And Dreadnought there still sees it with the commander still putting up these walls, turrets ready. And Cyberpunk with his expansions has positive economy at this stage. And down on the other side of the waterfront there, his little base still poking around, still raiding Dreadnought pretty well actually here. Forcing him to put up defences and turtle in this choke point here. But Dreadnought just hasn't expanded. He's been so focused on conquering Panda here that Dreadnought has just forgotten to expand. Uh-oh. Mistake from Panda. You want to rally off the other ramp there for your factory, my friend. But that T2 factory was short-lived. A bit of a waste of resources. And Dreadnought now must be pretty happy with that. Panda now thinking, okay, maybe it's now time for me to back up a little bit. Now that I'm down to 16% HP. But with double the economic income. Dreadnought now getting into the air game as he realises that perhaps he's got to do a bit more in that one. Panda's air has all but evaporated, with all of his air factories that were producing are now rubble. They lie in ruin. So Dreadnought now has that air advantage. Panda going to need to get some air factories there, or spinner adaptation. Transition rather. Out come the spinners there, taking out those bumblebees. Sits them underneath the hummingbirds. Gets a little bit of damage off there. Dreadnought giving chase. He's not content with conquering one triple. He wants the next one. And Panda is going to have to keep retreating. There's no way he's going to get this T2 vehicles up. I guess he's probably trying to get these T2 up, desperately thinking that Dreadnought has got his T2, because at this point in the game, in a normal game, you would have had a T2 factory by now. Hence, with the timing of Panda, I think he's just trying to force himself into the meta, and right now he just can't. He can't do it. Dreadnought just is hot on his heels. Expanded to a triple over there, but has yet to do anything on the other side of the planet. He says, as he glances at the picture-in-picture, finally, this airfab is doing something. The vehicle factory is coming up at last, but look at this side of the planet here. Look at how many metal sites Panda has. 209 metal income to 108. That is a significant disparity. Despite Panda losing his initial base and that production, Panda is in a better position here, I feel. Dreadnought's doing a little bit of raiding at last and scouting to see exactly the extent of his neglect. With all of these docks seeing exactly where he should have been focusing. Will he now dedicate sufficient force to dealing with all of this expansion, as Panda now makes a play for the naval? Getting a naval factory there. What a most curious game. Don't tend to see 1v1s like this, and I guess that's where you mix things up a bit. Dreadnought there with a bit of an idle comm. Could probably push in here, establish a couple of factories, maybe a pelter. Maybe put up a torpedo launcher on the coast. That could be a bit off-putting. Of course, does Dreadnought know that Panda is in the water? He does. He has seen the naval factory there, so he can assume that the commander is taking refuge in there. I guess at the moment he's using his attention to come round and do all this raiding, and Panda's still insisting on that T2. What is going on? Dreadnought now at last also getting the T2 up in his own base, realizing, okay, the shenanigans have died down for a little bit. Let's get back to the meta. Panda thinking, oh god. I mean, Panda knows that he's got a lot more expansion than Dreadnought could possibly have, because he owns it all. What is this? What is this? Oh my gosh. What is this? No way. Panda. What? With the number of little mini bases that Panda's got, you wouldn't have thought he'd have the attention to put up these little annoying turrets and get T2 down here and put up air over here and a lob and all of this nonsense. But he does, and he's got 2 naval factories, and still his economy is okay. Dreadnought is catching up with the eco now, though. But he doesn't, I think, have anything to really deal with Panda right now. So we're gonna have a bit of a lull in terms of what's going on, because, well, Dreadnought, as I say, has no way of dealing with what Panda has at the moment, and probably wants to shore up his defences anyway, because by pushing himself out here, he's left himself really exposed and somewhat underdeveloped and underexpanded. And as he comes round here for this expansion, let's have a look at what he can see. He sees a leveller, and he must think, oh gosh, how did this happen? And he sees those levelers and he must think, what? Where is his T2 factory? And he hasn't seen it at all. His air scouting has kind of stopped because he's trying to do all the raiding now with his docks, which he's finally getting around to doing, which is there's And now as these levelers push into the base, he doesn't have anything to deal with it. He's going to have to put up some defensive pelters and rush up this T2 factory if he really wants to do anything with it. He's floating, so he has the build power to be able to do it. Here it comes. Fast, 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 fast. Get that up now. Commander is nice and out of the way, so levelers aren't exactly going to threaten him at this stage. Raiding another power line of pandas. Panda, though, replenishing it elsewhere on the map. So it's not dealing too much damage to Panda. Then again, Panda is already in the red regardless. What a curious game. Panda doesn't have the army. He has the Faber advantage. Both players have equal number of factories. Economies have kind of leveled out now as Dreadnought's done a lot of raiding. So that's knocked Panda down a few pegs. Panda, though, seems to have the ability to deal the damage right now. Dreadnought with his levelers doesn't quite have the count to be able to deal with all of this. And what's that? Oh my. What happened here? Let's have a look at what Dreadnought did. He wanders towards the water. Whereupon he sees all of the orcas just shelling him, at which point it's too late to turn around. He must be thinking, oh dear. That could have been an interesting game, if not for something of potentially a misclick there towards the end. Did he move that in response to a scout, or was it just a movement command he gave ages ago and just forgot about it while dealing with all the defense down here? Oh dear, and oh wow. That game was all to play for as well, apart from silly mistakes. A most silly mistake that was. If that hadn't have happened, that game could have gone either way. That really could have gone either way. I mean, Panda did have the levelers and T2 vehicle advantage down here, but Discrape had literally just finished his factory and presumably would have started building with it once he moved these down and then realized, oh wait, my commander's in jeopardy. Panda was losing his expansions. As if you compare this map to what it was previously, Dreadnought was doing a good job of bringing it back, but hey ho, that is that. Panda wins with hasty retreats, and Dreadnought makes a rookie mistake, unfortunately for him. Anyway, folks, I've been Marshall. Hope you very much enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and don't forget to drop a like and share it with your friends if you think they'd be entertained by it. And of course, don't forget to follow me on Twitch as well, with the upcoming stuff that I'm doing over there. Links, of course, down in the description. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, folks. I've been Marshall. Until next time, have a good one.